That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
Yeah,
you want one quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Yo. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rashad Milligan. This is the World of 5K subs. I want to do this one more time because I did it at the beginning and I was like, man, that looked kind of cool. I'm getting a little hang time, a little. Feel like a Jonas Brothers and can't roll. Anyway, man, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about some music real quick. Right now, it's 12:09 Central, 1:09 a.m. Eastern time. So music just came out an hour ago, and I would like to talk about some of the new releases and things that I got from the new releases so far. Early takes. If you know, you know. But let's get into it. Where we go? Where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? And I wasn't going to talk about basketball on the stream. I wasn't going to talk about basketball until the Final Four started. But I was kind of baited. Like I kind of talked myself into talking about some basketball. So we'll get to that next. Where do I want to start in terms of music? Okay, we'll start here. Shout out to Spook. The Spook Who Kicked the Door is now out now. A new album from Spook. If you know, you know. Spook, one of the friends of the channel. Eastside Atlanta's own Spook. She's got Veda on Eat. I like that track. It came out last week as one of her singles. Boy Band was one of her singles as well. Came out a few months ago. And Me First. Brother gonna do me, man. I'm gonna leave him first. Hold on. Let me get my camera right. All right, hold on, twin. Brother gonna treat me bad. Brother gonna leave him first. Hold on now. The cam not working. Hold on. Cam's gotta work. It probably just needed a little second to catch up. But we're gonna give the camera a second to catch up. In the meantime, just speaking about the album, the intro really surprised me. And there's no words, spoiler alert, there's no words on the intro, but the instrumental really surprised me. And it almost prepared me for like, okay, I think Spook is about to go in a whole nother direction and do something that people have never seen from her before on this album. And I didn't necessarily get that, except for on Boy Band. Boy Band was something different from her that we haven't heard from her. It was like she took a chance. She stepped outside of her, I guess you would say, comfort zone or the sound that she was known for and got popular for and things like that. I like the fact that Spook isn't afraid to take chances. If you meet her, she seems like a pretty unbashful type of person. Like she's, constantly kind of open to taking chances and stuff like that. Hold on, let me get the camera right in the meantime because it's gonna bother me the rest of the stream. Oh, let me get this camera right. Oh, it's back on. Okay, cool. All right, bet. All right, thank you for being patient during the brief intermission. But yeah, I definitely like. How can I say? I like the singles. I like the intro. I like the Pity the Fool outro. And like I said, I like the singles. So we got 3 singles in the intro, and I like the outro. The intro prepared me for like, yo, we about to get loop rap Spook or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't got to be no, but it could be like you know what I'm saying, doing the swaggy raps and everything like that over some loop instrumentals. I think that'd be hard, me personally, and stuff like that. Like, but yeah. Salute to Spook for getting this album out. Just first things first, overall, she got it out a couple months after Spook season. So she's staying consistent. There'll be consistency. We love to see it, everything like that. She's keeping up with the pace of the releases. Fire art is fire. Spook's energy is fire. Her work ethic is fire. All of these things, professionalism is going to be the thing that gets her really far in her career and stuff like that. And I'm excited to see it. Same with Veda. Like I said, Veda's just continuing to kill it week by week by week. She's just doing something else and everything like that. So salute to both of those young ladies from the east side of Atlanta. Okay, we'll go to here. Tonight from Pink Panthers, her first single off of her new album, the upcoming album, and things of that sort, since she's announced it. And how I felt about it, it was just cool to me. It was cool. It was okay. She's teased this one before, and I haven't watched her on the lot mix, where she's playing a lot of the album in the mix and stuff like that, in the hour long kind of playlist and stuff from the DJ. Hold on, let me scoot back so I can get some space. But from kind of what I've heard from the teaser and then hearing the actual full song, it was cool. It was cool. I liked it. It kind of goes under the genre of Pink Panthers, but it was a bit different and a bit new developed and everything like that, because the song was like longer than a Pink Panthers song. People so often make jokes about her songs only being like a minute and a half, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, and things of that sort. And this song is, I remember I was listening to it and I was like 144 in, and I'm like, oh, it's not over yet. Like, I was just surprised because, like, that's just the typical Pink Panthers experience we get. But this was nearly 3 minutes, nearly 3 minute song and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see how the single sounds within the span of the album, within the entire view of the album, because it's the same thing I said with Anicia's single last week of the I Never Need with Glorilla and Caribou. It's like, okay, it's cool or whatever, but I'm ready to see how it fits within the entire album, the Grady Baby album. And the Grady Baby album, which is a Gangsta Grills album, mixtape. So I'm very excited to see how that fits within the album and see if it changes like my mind about it, how I feel about it, if I'll be much more excited about it. And for both of these songs, for Tonight from Pink Panthers and for Never Need from Anicia. And the Anicia joint is kind of, it's growing. The more you play it, it kind of grows on you a little bit more. I'm not even going to hold you. So there's that too. I might end up loving it by the time the album comes out. And then, during the course of the album, I get to Never Need and I'm like bouncing up and down. And I'm like, oh, never need. What, huh? Yeah, I'm doing all that stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's how I feel about it early on. Who else? I'll speak about, I don't have DDG pulled up, but DDG officially released Motion with Baby, with the Baby. I was about to say Lil Baby, with the Baby, and the song is just as good as it sounds on stream, man. It reminds me a lot of DDG's song from a couple years ago from one of his older albums, the one with the girl on the cover and everything like that. But it was Bulletproof Maybach with Offset. And it reminded me a lot of that, of just like him going kind of toe to toe with high energy with the big name rapper with the great flow as well. So I like the track. Salute the DDG, and releasing the first song from his hit-a-thon. Congratulations. There's a song from Party of Two. Now I seen this tease like when they were making the music video on Twitter, and I was like, okay, this is one of the artists from Group Therapy doing a feature with someone, I guess, named Party of Two. So I look up the song, and this is Party of Two, and you search Group Therapy on YouTube, Group Therapy music, and Party of Two comes up, and it's like the same people's faces that I remember from seeing in the Group Therapy, like music group and stuff. So I click on the video and I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Like, where's the brother from Everybody Hates Chris? Where's the Everybody Hates Chris little brother at? Because he's in the group and stuff. He's not in the group, and I thought it was like those three. Apparently, it was originally 4 members of Group Therapy, and it dropped down to 3 because one of the members left in like 2020. And then last year, Tyler James Williams' brother, I think his name is like Taylor, he dropped out. He dropped out of the group, and they made an announcement. They said it was best for him, best for the group, and we both have respect for each other. It's all love on this end. We just decided it was best for the both of us to separate. And I haven't seen anything. Like, I did a little deep dive because I didn't want to just outright comment on a music video is anybody else wondering what happened to this group, I'm sorry, I've been tapped out for a little bit. I come back and it's a whole nother, kind of like the group is in half and they have a whole new name now, Party of Two. I'm used to group therapy, but the dude, everybody hates Chris, little brother. So I don't know. The whole thing threw me off. But the song is decent. The song is decent. Like everybody said in the comments, it's got a sticky feel from Tyler the Creator. And their music has always kind of been in that Brockhampton, kind of like lane of music and rap and hip hop and things of that sort, of alt hip hop and things. So, I mean, this kind of lines up with that. So, if you're into that, that is for you. The one for me this week was this one, hands down. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jalen Josie, salute to Jalen Josie. If you know, friend of the channel, uh, Atlanta legend as well. New Girl. This gave me the feeling I've been hesitant to just say it out loud, but I will say it out loud, and whatever it does, it does. I know, period. Like regardless from me, I'm gonna be playing it and everything like that for months and months, probably for the rest of 2025. But I'll say this early on as my initial reaction. It's just my initial reaction. I had the same feeling from hearing this for the first time that I had when my boy Mo Knows, y'all know Mo Knows from the channel 1 a.m. pod. Go check it out. Go subscribe. When he first played me in 2014, Exchange. What was the song called? No. This song ain't called Exchange. Song is called Latch from Disclosure and Sam Smith. And he played it for me, and I was like, this is so different. And at the time, 2014, like the club techno beats, it was like a thing, but it was like kind of grooving back into like soul. It was a transition period of club type beats because the EDM era was 2010, 09 to 2012, and we were starting to phase out of that in 2013, 2014. So those EDM and house kind of like, or the EDM club beats kind of transition to techno, transition back into house club beats, more soulful, more dancing as opposed to like where you feel a bit overstimulated listening to it, like all that stuff, So, at that time it was Latch, but it was also Down on My Luck from Big Mensa. If you know, you know. When I get down on my luck, I hide behind my eyes in Hollywood and saying what you know and who you know. You need to know someone to know. No, but when I hear this song right here, this New Girl joint, bro, I get the exact same feeling I got in 2014 when my boy Mo played the song for me, Latch, and he was like, "Yo, this song hard." And this was before it took off, and so it started to pick up a little steam, and then it took off, like took off to where it was like kind of incredible. It's the same thing like when another time that happened was Ryan, my boy Ryan. He put me on with Juice World, Lucid Dreams before anybody else. And then a couple days later, he did what he did. A couple days later, after he did, after he shouted me out, after he put me on with Lucid Dreams, that's when Pootie, young Pootie P, shout out young Pootie P, was like, y'all need to listen to this dude, Juice WRLD. I'm listening to him a lot. This song called Lucid Dreams. And then Lucid Dreams became like the biggest thing in the world for like a long time. And he carried his entire legacy because it was like his biggest song, especially on the radio and stuff. So there was that. And then what else happened? It was another joint that kind of same thing. I'm saying all of this to say these are one of those songs where you remember where you were when you first heard it, when someone first played it for you, when your friend first played it for you. It had the viral promotional kind of backing. It wasn't like, she put just pump money into it. And I don't know, maybe she did pay a low promo. However, it felt very organic. Like she just put out snippets, and each of the snippets were gaining a lot of traction online and stuff like that. And Jalen's been doing her thing for a while. Shout out to my guys, Tally. Shout out to Tommy 4K, who were early on her at the beginning of her career and stuff like that, or the earlier stages of her career. She's been gone for a while, and she used to be kind of affiliated with who's the director who did The Shy and stuff like Lena Waithe's joint, Grand Hill. I don't even want to mess up the label name, but the same label with Sir's brother. Sir's brother is also on that label and stuff like that. And yeah, so she was on that label. She was affiliated with that label for a little minute, and she's been doing her thing for a while now, like touring, doing covers. She's had a couple moments where her songs were like buzzing online and stuff like that. And she did the Christmas blow story. It wasn't blow, it was a word that rhymed with that. And she had like kind of moments and things and stuff like that. But this, I think, it's a song that is gonna bust her through the mainstream. And I had to stand on that because I put it out there now. And I was hesitant, a little scared, what I'm saying? I don't want to be wrong. Da, da. Or people think like my opinion has no weight because like I never hit publicly. But I'm willing to put the reputation, everything like that on the line. I think this is the one that's gonna push her. This is gonna be her Coco Jones, you know what I'm saying, moment. I see you moment. This is gonna be her Victoria Monet, like on my mama. I think. So we'll see. But I think this is the new R&B girl that's gonna bust through the scenes of the mainstream because of this record right here. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my music take. That's my biggest music take for today. All right, bet. Of the week of initial music takes for the week of April 3rd. I like the Yachty and V's track. I thought V's washed Yachty. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I thought Yachty's swag was cool, whatever, in the music video from Lyrical Lemonade. And when I heard the sample, it was a Dipset sample, and I was like, didn't DC preview a track on his stream using this exact same Dipset sample? I didn't know if I was tripping or not. I might just be mixing all the samples in because people sample so much. But yeah. I like that track as well. I'm ready for some new V's, bro. I'm ready for the album. V's making that crack for sure. Let's get to some basketball. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to talk about basketball and put it in the title, but we're gonna talk about some basketball. Ayoka Lee is not playing basketball. Like in the time where we see who's going to the league, who's not, who's doing this. Ayoka Lee is like, how about no more basketball? How about no more sports? Threw me off. K-State family. It has been an absolute honor to represent this university for the last 7 years. 7 years, geez Louise. When I arrived at K-State when I was a 17-year-old who felt like I had to prove myself but never imagined that I would accomplish all that I have. Through the highest highs and the lowest lows, I always knew I was supported not only by my close circle, but also by an incredible fan base. You guys are what makes this place so special. Reflecting on this past season, I am so proud of all this team accomplished. While we did not achieve all of our goals, there is so much to be gained from the pursuit of each one. To my teammates, thank you for letting me to be in a pursuit with you and for believing and trusting in me. I will always cherish lessons learned and memories made. To all the coaches that I've had throughout the years, thank you for pushing me to be better and challenging me when I got too comfortable. I am forever grateful. W awareness. I am grateful for the relationships I've built here. Words cannot fully encapsulate how good God has been to me over the past 7 years, and I am so thankful that He wanted me here at K-State. Though I would be doing myself an injustice by not admitting that it came with a lot of obstacles, moments of questioning, and moments of having to endure injuries that made me want to give up. From these experiences, I've learned that I am capable of more than what I think I am, but also that it's important to listen to what your body whispers to you when it begins to scream at you. For this reason, so she medically retiring type stuff. For this reason, I've decided to forego the draft and explore the next season of my life apart from basketball. I'm extremely grateful for all the support and love that our fan base has shown over the years, and I'm excited to see what God has in store for me next. I'm forever a Wildcat. That's tough. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I know that sucked for her. She had like 50 points in the game a couple of years ago. Hey, channel classic. If you know, you know. When I reacted to her 50-point game, but it's like, dang, bro. She don't want to leave. Like, it was too much like passion from her in that tournament. Because when I seen the news from Rachel Galligan, shout out Rachel Galligan, I was like, Okay, she quit in basketball. She don't like the game of basketball. No, she loved the game. Like she's mad competitive. She has to leave because she keep getting hurt, like serious season long injury hurts. That's why she was there 7 years. Jeez Louise, Ayoka Lee, man. Prayers up to you. Amazing career. I enjoy watching you play, and I'm sure so many people beyond Kansas State, but around the nation, like when we thought of Kansas State women's basketball, we thought about you because of your 50-point game and stuff like that. Just like Nas Hillman over there at Michigan, who's now Atlanta Dream long staying vet at this point of her career. We getting old, time flying by, but yeah, man, like what you represent for that program is to never be diminished or minimalized or anything like that. What you did was monumental, and we appreciate you. Yeah, yeah. W. Ioka Lee. Okay, okay. So this one I knew was coming, but it had a twist that I did not fully expect. But we kind of got hints of this twist. So Flage is foregoing the WNBA draft and will return to college basketball. I said about a month ago, Flage has said for months on our podcast that she's coming back next season for her senior season at LSU. That didn't. What surprised me was like when she was asked about it during the tournament, she was even like, "I haven't made my decision yet." I was like, for the past like since January on our podcast, she's been saying like, "Oh yeah, but next year, next season, oh man, it's gonna be crazy at LSU next year. I got to do it big. It's my senior year, man. I got to do it big. Because that's my last chance to do all this stuff." She was saying that for months on her podcast. Subscribe to Best of Both Worlds for Flage. So I'm not surprised that she is staying in college. What I am surprised about is apparently in this story, she's talking about she's open to the idea of the transfer portal and exploring other options for the benefit and the sake of NIL for her last season of college basketball. I am a bit surprised with that. So we'll see. Let's read this. LSU star guard Flage Johnson is opting to skip the 2025 WNBA draft and will return to college basketball for her senior season. A source confirmed to ESPN on Thursday. Johnson could either return to LSU for the 2025-26 season or enter the transfer portal before it closes on April 23rd, 2020 days, and weigh off-season NIL offers, a source said. The news was first reported by The Athletic. The 5'10 guard has spent her entire career in Baton Rouge and is intent on returning for her final year of college eligibility rather than entering the draft, which takes place in New York on April 14th. In 2025, players had until Monday night to declare for the WNBA draft, unless their teams were still active in postseason play as of Sunday, which was the case if they were granted 48 hours after their season ended to decide. LSU season ended with the 72-65 loss to the UCLA Bruins in Sunday's regional final. So Johnson had to tell the league if she would enter this year's draft by midnight Tuesday. Because Johnson will turn 22 in November, she will be eligible to enter this year's WNBA draft, despite not having completed 4 full college seasons. In addition to the WNBA, Unrivaled is in Johnson's professional future. She has stock in Unrivaled. Unrivaled signed Johnson as well as UConn's Paige Beckers, who announced her intention to enter the WNBA draft, to NIL deals that include equity in the new 3-on-3 league and set the stage for them to join once their college careers are concluded. The 2024-2025 season was the best of Johnson's 3 in Baton Rouge thus far, which began with her starting for the Tigers team that won the 2023 national championship as a freshman. This season, Johnson averaged a career high 18.6 points and was named third-team All-American by Associated Press and the U.S. Basketball Writers Association. Johnson is one of the more marketable players in the sport, appearing during seemingly every other commercial break for the women's and men's March Madness telecast. She led number 3 Tigers 31-6 with 28 points on 10 of 17 shooting during their elite game 8 loss to top-seeded UCLA. Yeah, man. So the transfer portal thing got me. And but it did remind me of something that we saw. We did get a warning of this if you pay attention. March 31st. This transfer portal is portaling. Shout out Miss Kia, momager of the year, momager of all time, of the generation. Flage's mom, for those of you who don't know, her momager. The very next post. Let's keep it real. Women's basketball is outshining the men's game right now. The skill, the passion, the drama is captivating to fans. As teams get eliminated from the tournament, you can expect to see some major surprises from the players entering the portal. Stay tuned. Basketball surprise emoji. When I saw this, I said, okay, maybe it's nothing. Because that can't happen, right? But then, obviously, you think about the obvious elephant in the room here, right? Miss Kia and Flage are both businesswomen to the nines. Always been, always will be. Just is what it is. You can't blame them. Get paid, young hitter, get paid. Get paid, young hitter, get paid. House so big that it came with a maid. Get paid, young hitter, get paid. RP Young Dolph. I don't blame him. However, I am a bit surprised. But like I said, they're businesswomen. So what I think this is ultimately is just a negotiation play. Me personally, I think it's a negotiation play for LSU, some leverage, get some more money out of LSU and the NIL donors. That's what I personally think. To get the most money possible for Flage before she goes to the league. Because when she goes to the league next year, they're gonna have the new CBA ready, everything like that. So she's already gonna get paid more out the gate, straight from the WNBA team, and she's not gonna have to kind of depend so much on her music career and the endorsements on the outside of basketball. She can get fair pay, more fair pay from the WNBA by that point. So, yeah, man, that's what I think is going on. I think this is just a negotiation play, and we shall see. Though we'll see, bro. We'll see what happens. We got what 20 days. And by the way, if y'all wondering, if y'all watching this because y'all know my kind of history of covering Flage and stuff like that, I know nothing. I didn't reach out to them. I didn't reach out to the family or anything like that. So I know not. This is just me just guessing stuff, hypothesizing, if you will. Jada Williams, but yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. I want to close. I want to close it. I want to close it because I want the Flage thing to be its own thing. It's interesting. We know what the transfer portal is in the world of NIL, right? Like it's all about maximizing profit while you're in college. Because the college marketability and everything like that, you want to make the most of it while you can, while you have it in front of you. Because college loyalty and programs is always going to be just crazy. What happened with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese of them carrying the clout they had from college to the pros, that has kind of never been seen before to that level in the WNBA before. And yes, I'm not a new WNBA. Like I've been watching it casually my entire life. So, I'm thinking about when Diana Taurasi first went to the league, when Maya Moore first got to the league, when Candace Parker first got to the league. It was like excitement. Like I remember Candace Parker coming from the Sparks and to play in Atlanta. Like it was a thing of like, oh, Candace Parker coming to town. Like it was a thing. Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie coming to town. But it wasn't like in terms of like size, attendance, numbers. It was nothing like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese out the gate. Like Asia Wilson can draw crowds like that, similar crowds. Like she could probably bring about 14,000 at least, I think, in Atlanta. However, like Caitlin did 17,000 twice in Atlanta, bro, as a rookie. So, and I think Angel Reese can do at least at least 15 in Atlanta because I know, um, you know, Atlanta said the front office, they told us earlier this offseason and told us last season as well that they plan to have more than just the Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever games in the bigger arena. And so I think Angel for sure can do 15,000 at least in Atlanta. That's new. I say all that to say that's new. That hasn't been seen before. So that isn't guaranteed, what I'm saying, necessarily for Flage of just like Flage goes to the league and well, I mean, but Flage gonna be good regardless. I ain't gonna hold you when it comes to endorsements and off the court stuff. So I don't even know why I was bringing that up. But for every other college athlete, they need to maximize every college athlete that is in Juju or Flage, bro. Or Paige, but Paige don't count because she about to go to the league anyway. But everybody outside of them two, they need to maximize their college brand loyalty and fans and people who have been legacy fans of their programs and stuff like that. Flage is going to be good because she raps and she signed, she's got an equity deal as an independent artist with Rock Nation. She's good. She's set for life. And her raps, she don't cuss. Like what I think Flage should do, keep doing, and I hope our mom, Miss Kia, is still in her ear about this. Stay clean. Stay clean. Keep the lyrics clean because that opens you up to just a whole nother audience. You know what I'm saying? Like Damian Lillard, after a while, he did the clean albums for like 5-6 years and then he went to cussing. I think as soon as he went to cussing, it's like people weren't really checking for his music like that as much. Unless what's the balling ticket? What's the song called? Balling at the Rim. I like that song. I think it's a good song. Hold on, let me see. Dame Dollar, Money at the Rim. Is Money at the Rim? Is that the name of the song? Moneyball. The name of the song is Moneyball. So I thought it was Money at the Rim. It was 5 years ago. So this might have been like the first album where he started cussing. But that's a good song, Moneyball. By the way, check it out. And but yeah, I say all this to say I felt like Damian Lillard was going on a trajectory, and then he started cussing in his music, and less people stop talking about it and stuff. And he also went to Milwaukee. That probably had something to do with it, even though Portland isn't necessarily like the hip hop hub capital of the world. But shout out to Amine. Definitely want to respect Amine. Definitely want to respect Chicken P and everybody out in Milwaukee, DC, the Don. You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee got some folks for sure, but it's just not. You know what I mean? People aren't thinking like when you think Milwaukee, Chicken P, and who else off top that I just named? Chicken P and DC the Don off top. People just aren't thinking that when they think about Milwaukee. When a lot of people think about Milwaukee, they think about Giannis and the Bucks, or like dangerous street life because Milwaukee mad dangerous. But yeah. Shout out to what's her name? The girl that Drewski was like, got a lot of talent. Sign here. She's from Milwaukee and she shouts it out all the time. Kia, her name is like Kia, I think. Toxic High. Kayla Simone, that's her name. Anyway, shout out Kayla Simone too. But yeah. That's besides the point. That's how I wanted to put a cap on it. I am a bit surprised at this, but it's the business and it's a negotiation ploy to get the most money. Get paid, Flage, get paid. The Jada Williams to Iowa State thing, I liked. It's pretty cool. Salute to it. Jada giving Audie Crooks some help and stuff like that in the backcourt. I'm very interested about this Arizona thing because remember the girl Maya Naji, Paige Becker's former teammate in high school at Hopkins in Minnesota. She went to Arizona, right? And then she quit, and she quit basketball altogether. And she went on a podcast to talk about it, and she was talking about how the atmosphere was kind of toxic. She was like, basketball, it was just like hostile and toxic environment for me. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And obviously people kind of criticize Adia Barnes, Coach Adia Barnes, and her like quotes and things she says and Remember when they won with Ari McDonald, and in the huddle, uh, Coach Barnes flicked off the haters, and it became a viral thing. Like it's just a lot of things with her that have just always been like, yo, it's kind of spotty. But the players, like, and key players and top players consistently leaving is another thing of like, what's going on here? Does Arizona need to look at the coaching staff and look at the basketball program like, okay, it's time to change the culture because these kids are just keep leaving. You know what I'm saying? And you can blame the portal, like the the Howard coach, did a whole thing of like, won't get in the gym, but will jump in the portal, telling. And other coaches were like, going in the portal and changing schools won't change the fact that you don't have good work ethic enough to get in the rotation more, like, and have bigger roles. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not one of those situations. It's like key players are leaving and they keep leaving. And things about you keep kind of showing that are telling. I don't know. I don't want to diagnose it too much. I'm not over there in Arizona. Never even been to the state of Arizona, but it's just something I'm peeping. It was the same thing with Brenda Freeze over at Maryland a couple years ago. Now a lot of that talk is kind of quiet down, but a few years ago, Brenda Freeze in Maryland, it seemed like it was like the worst, most toxic environment for a basketball player to be in major college basketball. Now it's looking like that title and thing is going to Adia Barnes in Arizona. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. I guess only time will tell, huh? Jada is probably gonna have to get on the podcast, and you'll have to read between the lines per usual in these situations. Kaylee, speaking of Kaylee Heckle and Avery Howe, both went into the portal. I do not know why, because a lot of people said, "Yeah, well, you still run the show. You had the number one recruiting class, and you still ran the show like it was a one man show with Juju." But Juju's not playing next season. So if I'm Kaylee or Avery, I'm like, okay, no Juju next season. We both can play fully and show off our talents and prepare ourselves and get ourselves on some draft boards for, our junior and senior years. That's what I'm thinking the mindset is going to be, but they leave. I think that might be telling as well. I don't know what's going on at USC with Coach Gottlieb. I don't know. Or is it Gottlieb? It's not pronounced like Doug Gottlieb because she's not related to him. But yeah, with Coach Lindsay, I'll say Coach Lindsay. I don't know what's going on over there at USC, but something is going on because in Avery Howe's announcement, Van Hoffen, she she posted the thing of, she just put the period, like she put period by itself, and this fan was like, "What do you mean by the period?" She said, after much reflection, I have decided to enter the transfer portal and search for the best fit for my future. This was not an easy decision, but I believe it's the right step for my journey. I don't get it. I don't get, like, because they got good playing time freshman year. They didn't get the ball much, but that's because of Juju. It's like the Juju show. Like, it felt like they had no offensive scheme, no offensive plan. It was like ISO ball. Get the ball to Juju, ISO, let Juju go to work every play. But there's no Juju, so it's gonna force them to be more involved in the offense and the team next season. And I think you saw those last two tournament games, they did play a large role, like especially with Kennedy Smith. I thought it just would have been nice to see those three plus the Jazzy Davidson and the other McDonald's All Americans they have coming in. I thought it was going to be good system. Like they set themselves up for, it's going to be interesting and fun to watch USC for the next couple of years. But I guess not. I guess not. I guess it's just Kennedy Smith if she stays, and we'll see who else. Samaya Smith and last year Poa left at LSU. The entire team, except for Hannah Hidalgo, left at Notre Dame. So yeah, that was weird. I don't know what's going on over there. The reason why I didn't want to talk about basketball is because I just don't know. Like, it's like when players play, they get rotational minutes, they get good shots, they have good stats on pretty good teams, and they make good runs in the tournament, and they put their name. I don't know why. A lot of people say NIL, money. Well, shoot, I don't know what these other programs is talking about. But also, a lot of these kids, gonna get a rude awakening. Not someone like the ones that make the headlines, like the Kaylee Heckles and the Averys and everybody like that, and Samaya Smiths, and you know what I'm saying, Taniya Latson. Like a lot of those players, it's gonna be nothing for them. Olivia Miles, it's nothing for them, right? They're just gonna find a spot. But for you role players, and for you players from these mid majors and smaller schools, it's gonna be tough for you, my boy, or my gal. It's gonna be tough for y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. So best of luck to everybody. Remember, the grass is not always green on the other side. And I don't even know if you should really be leaving if you don't have no promise. But at the same time, schools can't even legally talk to you unless you in the portal. So spade is spade. Okay, let me get to the actual thing that I wanted to talk about today. It's 40 minutes in. 7 p.m. Fridays, 95 degrees. All right, cool beans. So I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna share this. Let me see. Okay, so I saw this right on Facebook, and hold on, let me see if I can like zoom in on this. I can't go full screen because it's right there. Let me see, full screen, entire screen. Let me see if that shows up. I can't tell. Anyways, I'm just gonna trust that it shows up. We'll say that, right? Full screen. There we go. Okay, so Big Meech got out of jail a couple months ago at this point, out of prison a couple months ago at this point. I remember when he was in prison, it was this big thing of like free Big Meech, free Meech, everything like that. You know, Rick Ross does a song, I Think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover. And it's like one of his biggest songs of his career, everything like that. Then the BMF series comes in. 50 Cent makes a BMF series where he talks about BMF and the movement that it had in Atlanta in the mid 2000s and stuff, where they bought out billboards around the city, BMF and stuff like that. It was something that like drug trafficking is never really seen on that scale in the black community before, on like something that crossed over into the mainstream a bit. To where they were in the clubs and stuff like that. Like I hear stories all the time from former Atlanta athletes about it. Me personally, I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old at this time, so I knew nothing about it, other than like seeing the billboards and then hearing like Jeezy shout them out. But like I ain't know nothing about it at the time. So yeah, there was that. Meech had been in jail for a long time, and so it became a thing of like free Meech, everything like that. And I think the show gave him a lot of credit and made him look really, really cool, played by his son Lil Meech. So when it came out that Big Meech was getting out of prison, it was like this whole like methodical thing, this methodical creature that Big Meech became online because he was away for so long. And with that, it was like women particularly had this like thing on social media of like, Lord, thank you, Big Meech. Come get these young men out here, the next gen, the new gen. I mean, they out here sassy, they out here goofy and this and that. And so Meech comes out, you know what I'm saying, goes to the halfway house, everything like that. Gets acclimated back into society. And he starts wearing a lot of fits. It's like just funny fits. It's like funny fits and everything. Express yourself, things like that. And he's getting roasted. Like he gets roasted for every single fit pick. And he posts and he's like active on social media. Like he's not like mysterious or anything like that. He's posting a lot on social media. And it's just a lot going on. And it just reminds you that at the end of the day, people are people. People are people, bro. And when they go away and do the mysterious thing and add this mystique to them and add this like allure and this legend of that there's some methodical caricature or whatever the case might be, when they speak, you realize they're just people. Dave Chappelle left his show at the peak of his popularity, went over to Africa, disappeared for a while, I guess worked out, had some kids and stuff like that, and moved his entire family back to the middle of Ohio and then slowly rolled his back self into Hollywood. When he came back into Hollywood, he still stayed mysterious, and everybody's like, "Oh, Dave Chappelle, this is crazy." And so, right, so he starts doing a couple interviews, and it's like, "Oh man, I'm so honored to get a rare interview with the Dave Chappelle. You don't do interviews, you don't talk. You've actually been in, I'm saying, Africa for the past decade." And he's like, "Yeah, just is what it is." He's still like keeping that mystique about him and stuff like that. Dave Chappelle. So he does the shows, no phones, so you can't see the jokes in the shows. But he eventually has to make a little more money. So he makes the deals with Netflix, and he puts his stand-up specials on Netflix. And the more and more specials he has to put out, the more and more chance people have to like really just hear what he's saying. And they're like, wait a minute. This isn't 2004 no more. You can't just make a joke about transgender people and just make it ready. You can't just make jokes about gay people and this and that. And he came back at it like he doubled down on it. He said, "Yeah, I had people. I don't have a problem with gay people. I just think gay jokes are funny." And he doubled downs on it and stuff. And but before you know, like the more and more Dave Chappelle talks, you realize, well, a lot of people have criticized him and say like Dave Chappelle, he's outdated, and it's like if you can't be funny without being offensive, then you aren't really funny at all. Like, so he receives all that criticism. But at the end of the day, I feel like what people discovered the most is that Dave Chappelle is just a flawed person. Like, he's not like this higher than above, higher intellectual dude that tracked the code and can speak with Gandhi through the voices whenever he closes his eyes and tries enough to channel those energies, because he spent 10 years in Africa at the peak of his career when he was offered millions of dollars. Like, he's still a person. He's still like the goofy Dave Chappelle that gave us like the best skits ever on TV. And he shows it every time he hosts SNL. It's like modern day Chappelle show episodes and stuff like that. It's just a person. Andre 3000. Andre 3000 disappears from like celebrity life. And even though he's playing the flute on the sidewalks around America and people stop him for selfies and everybody sees him and talks to him and stuff like that, it's still like this methodical thing because he doesn't do interviews. It's been so many opportunities for Outkast to do reunion tours and reunion shows and stuff like that, or pop-ups. You think about the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and what was that, 2019, 2018, and Maroon 5 is performing. People are mad that it wasn't Outkast, and so Maroon 5 brings out just Big Boy by himself, and they're like, why isn't Andre coming out? You know what I'm saying? Like, Andre only came out for the Dungeon Family reunion show at the Lakewood Amphitheater. That's the only time he came out for any type of reunion since 2014. It was like 2014, he really retired. When he retired from Outkast, he retired just his presence, like as a celebrity. So you would hear him on these random verses from Kanye, or from just major artists and things of that sort. He did some more stuff with Dungeon Fam. He was on the Goody Mob album a couple years ago, the new Goody Mob album from like 2022. He's on that album, and he's on a couple other people's albums and stuff like that. But still pretty low key dude. With this low keyness and being mysterious and not doing interviews, people have built up Andre 3000 from being one of the best rappers of his time to one of the like more philosophical, genre bending, game changing people to ever walk the face of the earth. And like I said, Andre 3000 is one of the more influential people in my life and just everything. Like, my username is Jeff 3006 because I got it as a kid. Because every morning my mom would turn on TV, turn it all the way up, and wake me up and get me out of bed with "Hey Ya" playing on VH1 every single morning. And then Class of 3000 came out, and it was a black cartoon from a black man from a black city like Atlanta, and my black city. He talking about Bankhead and Buckhead. These are places where like I drive by all the time. My mom drives, and I'm in, like, I know these places. These places where my cousins live, where my uncles live. Like, this is crazy. And so like, and that was before Atlanta existed. So it's like, this was Atlanta, the TV show, Donald Glover FX. This is like the first time I'm seeing like a show exclusively back in Atlanta, and it's a cartoon. And I'm like in 6th grade at this point. So I don't know. Andre 3000 means a lot to me. However, I felt like him going away and not saying anything for years made him this larger than life thing that people are just like, oh, 150,000, 150,000. And he comes back and he plays the flute and stuff like that. And he does shows and he does interviews. And you realize he's still just the same goofy, funny dude, you know what I'm saying? From eccentric, eclectic dude from East Point from when you first met him 30 years ago or 20 years ago, whenever he was actively in the spotlight. You know, the spank you very much or the, stank you very much, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still that guy because he'll do the whole feel the energies, feel the rain. Then you can see the light. Can you see it? And he'll look around and he'll go, I just made all that up. That wasn't even real, y'all. Next song. That's all he been doing, man. So it's like, Russ, he's just a regular dude. I remember Boosie when he was in jail. People were screaming free Boosie for years. Boosie get out. Now it's like some people love Boosie and a lot of people hate Boosie. They hate Boosie because he's so in his thinking of the LGBT community, so dated and he's so ignorant and this and that and wow. And there's other people that are like, oh, Boosie, he like clicking up with Vlad. He's selling his masters. He really selling out. He do anything for $1. He ain't really true to the thing. And there's other people that love Boosie. They love when Boosie swag surf at the game. Some people hate on him swag surfing at the game. They say he looked like this and that. But some people like him swag surfing at the Hawks game. Some people like his sense of humor. Some people like the fact that, he say he's uncensored on Instagram Live and he keep getting his accounts banned and stuff like that. A lot of people still like Boosie. So there's that. Offset. When Migos first popped 11 years ago, 11, 12 years ago. No, it's not even 11, 12 years ago. Jeez Louise. So I guess it would be 13, 12 years ago. Jeez Louise. Anyways, 13, 12 years ago, Migos first pop. Everywhere, free Offset. They wearing shirts, free Offset. They got signs in the video, free Offset. They shouting out on every song, free Offset. Bam, 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 for the Super Bowl. Yeah, all that stuff, right? Offset is out, whatever. Over a decade later. A lot of people hate Offset. They hate the way that he's treating Cardi and this and that. And he's just, oh, you're moving so immature, Offset. Oh, I'm tired of Offset. This and that, Offset. Bro, just 12, 13 years ago, this man was like, oh, yeah, free Offset. All the real ones going to say free Offset. All the real ones going to say free Rio. If you're not from Detroit, name one Rio song that Rio released since first day out. For years, I seen it in Atlanta. Everybody was yelling, free Rollo, dog food, the real one, this and that. Rollo get out. I see people calling the man corny. I see the man calling him. They say he snitched on folks. He got paperwork. Everybody say, I said, man, he was just like the kingpin drug lord, like well respected in the streets. Atlanta's most respected drug dealer, English Avenue. He was just that, like a couple years ago, that everybody was like, free Rollo, free the real. And now it's like, Rollo corny, Rollo this, Rollo that, Rollo cornball. It's like, bro, what? I say all this to say, like, a lot of the love be fake, bro. And people be placing unrealistic expectations on people just because they don't be talking. Playboy Cardi. The music era, he's been more outside than he's been since the 2018 Lit album era. He's acting normal again and stuff like that because him acting like a mysterious vampire for years has caused fans to just fall out when they see him. And he like, y'all gotta chill. I'm just a man, bro. I pee, I fart just like y'all, bro. I burp just like y'all. Anicia does a good job of reinforcing this and saying this all the time. But yeah, man. Little TJ, bro. This is something I think about often. If with the tragedy with Little TJ, if it didn't go as well as it went, where TJ ended up bouncing back and living his life and stuff like that, would TJ he'd be looked at, I feel like, close to kind of Juice WRLD in them. Because Juice WRLD had Lucid Dreams, huge hit. But TJ had pop out with Polo G. We pop up at your party. I'm with the gang, and that song back then was almost just as big, if not as big as Lucid Dreams. So you know what I'm saying? Like people be calling Lil TJ a New York legend and this and that. Yo, we love you, TJ. Now TJ here, TJ say something, people be like, "Shut up, you fell off." Like that's just what it is, bro. Like I'm saying this to say people are people, bro. Regardless if they in prison and you can't talk to them or they can't speak, make mass messages to the fans and to the people out there. People are just people. Whether they move to a foreign country for 10 months, 11 months, vlog it, live out their van, become famous, and then they come back to their hometown, you're going to find out real quick that people are just people, bro. I got to stop putting these people on these methodical pedestals that they did not ask to be on. Big Meech did not ask to be, you know what I'm saying? He did not ask to be this guy. You know, maybe in 2004, but like he's just an older fellow now enjoying life. Let Big Meech enjoy life. Let him do whatever. Like he's been locked up, hasn't had his freedom in years, bro. Like with Boosie, not only did Boosie get out of jail, he also battled the C word with the disease and stuff like that. So he like, man, I'm free. I'm disease free. I'm gonna live up and not care what anybody says. And that's exactly how Boosie lives. You know what I'm saying? So with these roasts and stuff like that, I ain't gonna lie. You see, I laughed at it. It was funny. It was a funny joke. At the same time, like I remember you exact same people. A lot of y'all was like, Meech, ooh, these boys is get these boys right. First of all, who is Big Meech to me, bro? Big Meech is not the leader of men. He was just a leader of the largest drug operation in America at the time. Like that's it. Or the largest documented drug operation in America at the time. He was not the leader of men. He's not the spokesperson of men. He's not the Jesse Jackson, the Al Sharpton, the John Lewis, the you know what I'm saying? He's not that for black people, bro, or for black men in particular. He's just a guy that sold drugs and did it in a way that was never been seen before and disrupted the industry and went to prison for a long time. That's it. But yeah, man, stop hyping up these people just because they can't talk, bro. Because you're gonna be real disappointed when they do talk and you find out they're just a regular person like you and I. That's my rant for today with that for sure. Okay. Reading the news now. So I got how many? I got two stories. No, three. Three stories, and then we're out of here for today. So this is some good story. This is good news right here. The last black-owned bowling alley staying staying open, operating because black people decided to pack it out, book it out, man, and made a push for it. You love to see it. Mac Liederman. Skyline lanes will stay open after Chicago step up to save the city's last black-owned bowling alley. Skylanes raised their prices over $16 and is now regularly booking out this alley as neighbors plan events to keep far south side's last bowling lane open. Shout out to Chicago for sticking together. Jeffrey Manning. I want to tell the story about Chicago, bro. I went to Chicago for the first time in like 2022. And we were riding around and stuff. I'm like, yo, this city is beautiful, bro. We were surprised how nice the city of Chicago was. I was with my coworker, Malik Brown, at the time. Shout out Malik. And we were like, bro, this place is beautiful, bro. Like, we expecting like Chirac when we come to Chicago because that's what they feed to us. And I know people have done documentaries on it and stuff and TV shows, but that's what I expected, bro. Bro, it's a very nice place, bro. They had upscale black people, like middle class black people, bro. And of course, you know, black people trying to make it out in the struggle. But they were, you know, working, actively working to make their situation better and stuff like that. It was just a beautiful sight to see for real, for real. Shout out to Chicago. Here we go. It was barely past noon Monday, and Skyline Lane's owner, Bernita Hill Corley, was already busy passing out bowling shoes, answering the phone, and hustling between lanes to keep the youth group and senior leagues rolling along. Foot traffic at Skyline Lanes, 9915 South Torrance Street, has been almost nonstop since Hill Corley declared the 36 Alley Lane, a Southside gathering spot since the 1950s, at risk of closing. Hill Corley told the Black Club last month, but the family business had many of its bowling leagues after the pandemic, while the property tax assessment more than doubled last year with the historical 35,000 square foot alley, which is in need of costly repairs. As bowling leagues and other community gathering spaces have dwindled, more than 100 Chicago bowling alleys have been closed since the sport's heyday in the mid 20th century, leaving Skyline Lions as one of the three left on the south side of the city's last black-owned bowling center. Excuse me. Bowling operators have told Block Club their properties are now far more often than the businesses on them. Hill Corley set lofty goals of $1 million to the GoFundMe and a last-ditch effort to stay open. Since the Black Club's last report, she's raised more than $16,000 in small donations and has booked out the bowling alley on most days since everything from large company outings to birthday parties. Skyway, it's crazy that they say like bowling alleys are not no longer in its heyday like the mid to 20th century because I thought like bowling alleys was still alive, like that's a popular dating spot. I think in particular it's like a thing that people go for like birthday parties, get-togethers, random celebrations, keeping up celebrations of like the end of the company year or the end of school year and stuff like I go to bowling alleys probably like once or twice a year at least. And I'm not a bowler. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like a normal occasion of like, what are you gonna do? Let's go bowling. It's at every little thing where you go to like a adult arcade or something like that. There's a bowling alley. You go, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It surprised me that it's no longer a thing for real. She hired an event player to manage the new demand. The article created a viral effect, Kill Corley said. I feel relieved. I'm beyond energized. The community, local organizations, nonprofits, schools, and people are reaching out for events and social gatherings that will continue to create that next generation of love flowing through the center. W Center, bro. Shout out to Inglewood. Shout out to the west side of Chicago. West side better go crazy. And I'm from the part of the city that they ain't be talking about. Hey, I'm at my grandma's house. Shout out to West Side Part 4. Shout out to Austin. What y'all see? I'm really in Chicago. What's up to Austin? Shout out to Inglewood, different Inglewood, but yeah, I want to say that. Organizers with Brightpoint, an Inglewood-based nonprofit. Shout out to Planet Vegan, bro. Shout out to Planet Vegan, bro. Shout out to the Black Vegan as well. Sparkle, La Star, Rucker, excuse me, and then my boy. Eli Israel, bro, for sure. My dogs. It matches youth to jobs and programs. Brought a yellow school bus full of kids to Skyway for a bowling outing on Chicago Public Schools off day on Monday. He saw the news coverage of the bowling alley struggling to stay afloat, said Mario Passmore, program director at Brightpoint. Places like this are readily available to residents in our community. You want to make sure these types of establishments stay open. A few lanes down from the Brightpoint's youngest members, Erica, Anya, and Akira, taking turns to bowl backwards. Monday Seniors League revved up as Shirley Crossley, 87, threw a slow rolling strike with a professional touch of spin. Crossley wasn't surprised to see the community step up to save Skyway. This is the only bowling alley left in this area, Crossley said. I bowled at every house in Chicago, but when the wintertime brings bad news, I don't like having to get on the expressways. Coming here, it gives us something to do. Michael L. Jordan, this man named Michael Jordan in Chicago. It's funny. Michael L. Jordan, a former engineer who bowls while wearing two Carabiner clips of keys. He said he's grown used to carrying around for his working days. He brought a group of friends to Skyway on Monday. Jordan said he had several perfect 300 games to his name and flashed a smile at the thought of picking up more at his go-to place. This is the only bowling alley I know on the south side, Jordan said. Hill Corley said she'll use the first batch of donations to smooth out years' worth of potholes in the building's parking lot. She's hoping to raise more to remodel the restrooms, the front counter, replace floors, and buy new bowling shoes for the house. But the tidal wave of daily support is enough to keep Skyway's doors open. I'm just happy the community took this so seriously. Hill Corley said their support is unbelievable. I never thought it would be this. It's exploded. The bowling alley on the site of a former church has changed minds 3 times. changed hands, 3 times since it opened in the 50s, Hill Corley said. Her father, Johnny Hill, her father, Johnny Hill, a former political operative who invested in the neighborhood businesses in his later years, bought the bowling alley in 2009 from the late Jacoby Dickens. Dickens was the owner of Seaway Bank, once the largest of the city's black-owned banks, which invested into black communities when others didn't. When Hill died in 2015, Hill Corley, a former IBM employee, took over the bowling alley with the help of her husband and 2 children. It was the last business her father held on to. She promised she'd keep it. She promised him she'd keep it. Wow. Her neighbors have come to help. I think the community realized his places are pillars, she said. Crossley has been happy customer through 2 generations of the Hill family. Johnny Hill was a people person, Crossley said. He wanted this house packed. Wow, man. W story, bro. W. What a fan. Oh, man. W story, bro. Oh, this is her Hill Court. Oh, man. This is beautiful, bro. Bro, see, this is what it looked like coming together, bro. I'm seeing so much like crazy dialogue on this internet, bro, especially within my community and things of that sort. I mean, the black community, of course. And so to see what's going on in real life of unity, nationwide, worldwide, what's really going on, I love to see it, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Shout out to the South Side, W South Side, W Chicago, W Inglewood. Shout out to the West Side. Shout out to Austin. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Saba. West Side better go crazy. All right, cool. Yeah. W story though, for sure. Shout out to Phil Lewis for posting it. That's my dog. Okay, now this is like the biggest news.
Clarify.
Well, no, it's not the biggest news story of the day. It's one of them though. With the tariffs and the economy and the stock market, that's the biggest news of the day. And then probably second is like Trump putting his face on the golden dollar that he made for $5 million. However, this was the third biggest story of the day, and it was Austin Metcalf. Yeah,
Something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family forever. I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate what happened, especially with the dynamics of it. He said don't politicize it, but it's going to be politicized, and it's going to be people are going to have to raise conversation. Especially people on the flip side who have for years watched how black people reacted when white people killed them in controversial ways. It just is what it is. What the kid did, his name is Carmelo Anthony, by the way. Crazy name, spells it with a K. Crazy decision from the parents. That's just an unhinged kid, bro. There's no excuse for that. That's a terrible, heinous, evil act. Just like people tell you to get up, and then he came around with a book bag. I don't know what Buddy had in this book bag, apparently. But like, unless it was another weapon, it just escalated too far, bro. Arguing over a seat, arguing over him sitting at the tent of another school, of another team, of another program. A teenage life did not need to be lost from that, bro. Now 2 teenage lives are lost because he's going to spend the rest, of his life behind bars. Like, unless they go 40 with the option of parole after 40 years. But yeah, man, it's a sad situation all around. Nobody wins. Rest in peace to the young man here. Prayers up to his family, his dad, his twin brother who watched him pass away right in front of his eyes tragically. Prayers to the whole family for sure. Prayers up to Caleb Wilson's family as well. In Kenner, in New Orleans, and in Baton Rouge and things of that sort. Prayers up to his family as well. As the news trucks start to leave,
as the people stop calling you as much. Prayers up to Rayshard Brooks' family. I remember when it was like the 2-year anniversary, I came to a press conference she did, and there was only a few people out there. And I asked her, I was like, you talk about, people making false promises to you. Do you feel like you're alone or whatever? She said, yeah. And I felt so bad for her because 2020 was like the biggest story in Atlanta. They went up for her and him. They burned down the Wendy's. They still never built up that Wendy's again. It's just boarded up and gated, at least the last time I was around there in Atlanta on University Avenue. And once people, the masses get tired of it, or are on to the next tragedy, people still got to live with this thing. Like, George Floyd might be a famous name now, right? And a meme for some reason. I don't know why they turned that man into a meme. Breonna Taylor might be a name. Ahmaud Arbery might be a name. But at the end of the day, 2 months, 5 months down the line, when it's no longer on CNN every day, or no longer on Fox News every day, or no longer on any of these networks or media channels, that family still has to deal with the pain of their loved one being gone forever over things that weren't even worth it. So I pray for this family, bro. And I pray for all the other families I just mentioned, and anybody who's going through a tragic loss, for sure, over something minuscule, petty arguments, you know what I'm saying? So for sure, prayers up, bro. And then here's the last thing of the day. Pulitzer winner calls it quits. He quits the Washington Post and slams Bezos. Pulitzer Prize winning columnist Eugene Robinson has quit the Washington Post over billionaire Jeff Bezos reimagining the opinions page. So here we go. Pulitzer winner quits the Washington Post and slams Bezos. Pulitzer Prize winning opinion columnist Eugene Robinson quit the Washington Post on Thursday over billionaire Jeff Bezos' plan to have the section focus on free markets and personal liberties, traditionally conservative values that signaled the paper's right-wing's shift. Robinson, 71, told staffers in a memo, Bezos reimagining the opinion page has spurred me to decide that it's time for my next chapter. Wow, according to the New York Times. Bezos announced the change of the opinion page in February, sparking anger among his staff and Post alumni, and causing yet another wave of subscribers to dump their subscriptions. I wish nothing but the best for the paper and all of you. I won't be a stranger, and I'll be reading all your unparalleled work every day. For 45 years, his reporting and commentary spawned Continents and Beats. Continents and Beats earning countless recognitions, including a Pulitzer Prize, the spokesperson said. Eugene's strong perspective and impeccable integrity have regularly shaped our public discourse, cementing his legacy as a leading voice in American journalism. Robinson joined the paper in 1980 and joined the opinion section in 2005, winning a Pulitzer Prize in commentary in 2009 for his columns on the 2008 presidential election. During a February MSNBC appearance, he criticized Bezos' decision and signaled that he may leave the paper over the issue. For many of us, this, to quote Elon Musk, a fork in the road moment, because these kinds of strictures, whatever they turn out to be, are not what we thought we had signed up for, Robinson said on MSNBC's Morning Joe in February. By the way, man, shout out to Joy Reid, man, friend of the channel. To see her show get canceled the way it did is terrible. Black people, make sure you own your own media. Make sure you own your own stuff, as always, because these companies can get rid of you at any time. And as long as you work for these companies, you are an employee. No, regardless of how long you've been, this man been there for 30 years and he stepped out on his own, but they could have got him just for his opinion on Bezos. You know what I'm saying? And going against their wishes of, we're just going to focus on this for the opinion section. Going kind of backdoor and publishing whatever he wants to publish. Now, he's in that position. So I say all of this to say, man, dude, for sure, like, have your own. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, one of the best doing it, Roland Martin, bro. Roland Martin doing the 24-hour lives on his social media platforms and things of that sort, and also like uploading daily news stories by himself. And he's been doing it for years now, and he's built it to a place where he's making some real money on. Shout out to Roland Martin, excuse me. Bezos' decision, which comes 4 months after his decision to nix the opinion section's tradition of presidential endorsements, also led to the opinions editor David Shipley leaving the paper. The paper touted an increase of 400,000 subscriptions during the meeting earlier this week, according to Breaker Media, 2 months after losing more than 75,000 subscriptions over the opinion. All right, shout out to Corbin Boyles, who wrote this story from the Daily Beast. Man, yeah, that's all I got to say, man. Salute, man, to anybody out there who's leaving something, choosing morals over money, because that's going to help you win in the long run, whether it's monetary or whether it's just an eternal gift, a spiritual gift that's beyond what we can see with the naked eye. So as always, I'm Rashad Milligan. Until next time, this is the Road to 5K Subs. Please take care of yours.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.